and welcome to a special by donation, by requests, and by blackmail edition of Ben's Junk. Of course, I'm just having a little fun here. So you might be looking at this and going, haven't you done this thing already? And the answer would be yes. But after I put out the Ben's Junk on the Magnavox Odyssey 2, I got an email from a viewer who offered to send me his voice module for this thing. So a little box that adds speech to some games for this, and he wanted me to do a video on it. And he also said that he would donate it if I did a video on it. And so here we are. But I'm not sad or pissed about that. Why would I be? So what we got is the voice. And I might have to be careful about how I title this video because I have this feeling YouTube might try and give me crap about saying the voice. They might just assume that I'm posting episodes of that god-awful so-called talent show that's on NBC to my channel. No, this is the real voice. Although, doesn't the Moody Blues song The Voice predate this? Who knows? The voice, and it's basically just an overgrown cartridge. You stick this into the cartridge slot. You got a hole here for the power button, and it moves the cartridge slot up here. And it's got a volume control, and I have found that I have to ride the volume a good bit, because some games will just nail you to the wall, and you got to keep it low, and other ones you just can't really hear, so you got to crank it. And of course, there's a speaker in here, which also means that you've got sound coming at you from two places. So you've got it coming from the TV, just from the usual console, and from here. Now, this creates a bit of a problem for me within the context of Ben's Junk. So what I'm going to do here with the demos is I'm going to have to just take a microphone to this thing and do my best to sync it back up to the gameplay. I will do my best. I make no guarantees that it's perfectly accurate, but it's got to be pretty close. So there really isn't much to this. There are no switches or plugs or anything. Like I said, it's basically just an overgrown game cartridge. So let's see if I can't pop it on here. And given the angle that I'm sitting at, that might be a lot easier said than done. And it just pops down like a game cartridge. So there we go, and it actually kind of looks like it belongs in a way, doesn't it? As opposed to like the Sega Genesis with the 32X and the CD sticking out of it, or the Atari Jaguar with the CD attachment, you know, some of the real goofy ones. At least this looks halfway appropriate. So, anyway, this viewer also sent me 4 games for this, so I was able to test this pretty good. And actually, before I get to the games here, I want to give a second shout out to the guy that sent me the ColecoVision that I did a Ben's Junk on just a while ago. And with that, he sent me a bunch of cables, and none of which were useful with that console. But he sent me another one of these, and this might be the first one I've owned in a long time that actually works pretty good, knock on wood. I'm hoping that my gameplay segments, which I haven't done yet, are still good, because I've been getting really good results with this thing, and it's been so long since I've had good luck with these old things that it's nice to do this. Again, knock on wood, famous last words. It might be terrible by the time I get to it, but yeah, gotta thank him again. Anyway, let's get down to the games here, and I believe the voice was introduced in 1982, and all these games date to 82 and 83. And this first one doesn't even really qualify as a game, and this might have been some sort of pack-in, but it's called Type and Tell. And you just type stuff in on the keyboard, and you hit the enter button just to the left of that red button there, and it says it back to you. And there's no real game to it. I guess you could create your own if you wanted to. And I think there might be a way to program into it. I haven't really looked into that. But as close to anything goofy with it that I've been able to find is you can make it kind of go into Max Headroom territory, as in the real TV show Max Headroom, not the hijacker. And you can add extra letters, like extra R's to a word, and make it kind of sound like it's getting stuck, as Max did on the TV show. But there you go. Type and tell. And then the next one here is KRAZY's KRAZY Chase, which is basically a Pac-Man clone, albeit a more elaborate one. And you're trying to eat, instead of dots, you're trying to eat the tail of a centipede sort of thing. And if you eat the tail, you kill the head. Yeah, it makes sense when you see it. And I don't know what it is with it might just be the console, but I found the controls to be kind of unresponsive on here. But I have that problem with most games, so I don't know if it's the game or the controller or a little of both. But it's fun when it works properly, but you have to really think about it and think ahead of time, because the joystick is so slow and the game is so slow. You have to kind of always be a step or two ahead, which I haven't mastered, not by any stretch of the imagination. Anyway, next game, Killer Bees, and no word on whether or not they're from Mexico. Callback joke. And this is definitely a creative game. You play as a swarm of bees, and as best as I can tell, the idea is to sting the beekeepers in the game and kill them. And because when you do, they get replaced with a headstone. But there's a swarm of killer bees after you, and they can eat up your swarm real nice and quick. But a weird game, but a creative one, and a pretty fun one too. And then lastly, we've got Turtles! Exclamation point. And the idea is you're a big turtle trying to save baby turtles, trying to get them to safe places so they don't get eaten by these insane... the book calls them beetles, and I don't mean the band. And this is where you run headfirst into the slow controls, because, again, I don't know if it's a programming thing with the games or the console or both, but it's like Pac-Man. You've got a maze that you're going through of sorts, but the problem is that you can only really navigate it if you go fairly slowly. Problem is that these guys are fast, and as such, I have made absolutely zero headway with this game. But anyway, this is one of those things that's much better served by demos, so I'm gonna get some gameplay going for you here. I'll do my best to resync the sound from this, because again, two separate audio things. As far as I know, there is no way to capture audio directly from the voice module. But otherwise, thank you to Eric. I could very well botch this name. Soderblom. I'll thank you in text as well. Thank you for sending me this wonderful, strange little toy. And let's get some demos going. And otherwise, I will see you again soon.
And welcome to yet another edition of Ben's Chunk. The show that would really like to type something dirty. knows it probably shouldn't. Wi-Fi and BD send chat CDD. Go! Watch out! Hurry! Hurry! Incredible! Go! Watch out! Ouch! Oh no! Incredible!